Good morning, everybody. Welcome back from Someone Scott Selections here for Thursday, April 28th. For again today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. Really not much to go through because we gave a look-ahead play for a Thursday NBA game. So if you want another NBA play, check out the video before this one because that game has not started yet. But we're going to stick with the NBA here for today's video. We're going to look at a matchup between the 76ers and the Raptors taking place at around 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm sure a lot of you know where I'm going with this one because of the matchup itself. But I'm obviously going to do it. I'm going to take the Raptors plus 1.5 at minus 108 on FanDuel. Time recording of 2:50 a.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like Toronto in this spot. First of all, the series has pulled a complete 180. We know Philly looked dominant in the first two games. Third game was close. Philly pulled out in overtime. And then Toronto kind of took the series over. And now they have won the last two games by at least 8 points. Philadelphia seems to be in the midst of a massive implosion, and Toronto is playing really good basketball, mainly on the defensive end. Philadelphia has scored less than 103 points in regulation in each of the last three games. Now, they did win game three in overtime. They ended up scoring more than 103, but of course, that involved the overtime and the shot by Embiid in the end. So Philly has had a really hard time of even getting to 100 recently against this Toronto defense, and the main reason why Toronto's defense has been so good has been the return of Scotty Barnes. And Barnes played 41 minutes in game five. He was fantastic. He had 12 points and 8 rebounds, which doesn't sound that impressive, but he also had 3 steals and he was a plus 13. So he was definitely a huge piece of Toronto's just overall success because of the fact that he is probably the best defensive player on the entire team. Now, I know Van Vliet is most likely going to miss this game as well. Van Vliet, truth be told, he, of course, was an all-star, good three-point shooter. The issue is that defensively he's still massively undersized, and Philadelphia has been a pretty bad matchup for him as a result. But with him out of the lineup and with this new kind of no point guard lineup that Toronto's running with Trent Jr., you got Barnes, you got Anunoby, you got Siakam, and a little bit of Birch in there, mostly Achua. They're extremely versatile in the defensive end. And I'm going to focus on that closing five with Achua in there, substituting for Birch. That team defensively has really given Philadelphia fits. And even Embiid has had some issues dealing with Achua. And Harden, of course, has been a mess in the series. Harden is shooting below 38% from the floor. Embiid has really just struggled since the finger injury. And I do expect Toronto to potentially wear him down on the defensive end once again because Embiid was really getting exhausted because Toronto kept getting involved in pretty much every pick and roll. And I do question if Embiid's stamina is going to be a concern in addition to the finger injury as this game progresses. But if you want to go through some other factors, I don't know if you want to buy into some media quotes, but Doc Rivers and Danny Green spoke to the media yesterday. And let's just say the quotes weren't exactly great in terms of confidence. Doc Rivers spent about 2 minutes defending his coaching job after he choked away a bunch of 3-1 leads in the playoffs. If you want to find that that quote, you can find it on Twitter. It was pretty odd that instead of Doc Rivers deflecting the potential choke job question, he embraced it head on and basically blamed the players that he's had in the past, which I found really weird. And Danny Green basically said it's put up or shut up time. We can't afford to lose this game, and how we had opportunities to close it out. We haven't done it. We need to do it. It seems like Philly's a little bit nervous based on what I can hear from those quotes. And you know that if Toronto gets off to a decent lead early on, which has been the case in the last couple of games, I'm really starting to wonder if Philly's going to fold mid-game because we saw that in game five. They fell behind early, and they cut it to single digits a little bit in the third quarter and fourth quarter, and they just ran out of gas. At the end of the day, it looked like they quit on their home arena, on their home floor, I should say. And I do think that if Toronto is able to get off to a decent start and really put the pressure on, from what I've seen in the past, Philly's going to fold. And I think Toronto, with the new physicality, with the lengthy lineup, and Nurse just being a much better coach than Doc Rivers, it does check a lot of boxes, especially with Toronto getting points here, with getting plus 1.5. I do think that there's some value on it. Now, if you want to go through some trends, the Raptors have been very good in the home underdog role in the past, as the Raptors are 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games as a home underdog. And Philadelphia historically has been awful traveling to Canada, as the 76ers are 5-15 ATS in the last 20 meetings in Toronto. But all things being considered, Van Vliet might be out, but Toronto got Scotty Barnes back, who I think is more valuable. And defensively, Toronto has hit a gear that Philadelphia has really not been prepared for, because with Harden's awful shooting numbers and the fact that he really can't move and create separation, with the fact that Embiid's finger issues and some stamina issues have been plaguing him in the second half of some of these games, Harris has been okay, but Maxi's kind of been a non-factor recently. It does seem like the tide is turning in the series, and I'm going to ride the team that has all the momentum right now, getting 1.5 points at home. Play that once again here for Thursday, April 28th. It's going to be on the Raptors plus 1.5 at minus 108 on FanDuel. Bye, everyone.